So it's Writing Wednesday, but I spent the weekend at Coley's Point with 5, 6 of the Strident Women. We missed Natalie, who wasn't able to be with us, but the rest of us were all there and enjoyed the sunshine and the sea and sitting on the deck talking about inspiration. And I recorded a great little intro, and it was so windy you couldn't hear a word I was saying. And then the wind blew over Laurie's camera and her drink, and everything got kind of chaotic. And then we got back to talking about inspiration. It began with my very inspiring friend Laurie, who is not only a lawyer and a writer, but a dancer and choreographer and teaches dance and owns her own dance studio. And she was saying some really inspiring things about how a regular daily dance practice actually makes her more inspired than just sitting around waiting for inspiration to strike. And I videotaped her telling all this, and I had the camera at the wrong angle, so it ended up all squished when I tried to convert the video, and the wind was blowing again. So I missed a lot of her inspiring talk, which was terrible.
Things I found about doing that regular dance practice is the stuff that I come up with while I'm doing those very routine things. The stuff that I was sitting down saying, okay, I got to write a choreography right now. It's not stuff I would come up with.
By the time I got Christine to share her thoughts on inspiration, I'd figured out how to maneuver this camera and actually hold it at the right angle. And that's great because Christine had some neat things to say. She's a real whirlwind of energy, not only a writer of both fiction and nonfiction, a freelancer, a budding life coach, and also the founder of the Association for the Arts in the City of Mount Pearl, which I think is pretty awesome, and I also liked what she had to say.
What inspires me? Well, sometimes I get inspired by really, really good writing or a really good song, something like that. Sometimes I get inspired by a really, really bad song or really, really bad writing. But sometimes it'll just be sort of something out of nowhere. I just came back from a walk, and down the road there was this perfectly tended square of stones. But in the middle, instead of a flower bed like you'd expect, there's just grass. It's not cut grass, but still, it leads me to believe that there was this flower bed. Someone looked at it and decided that was too much trouble, and said, but they're drawing attention to it by leaving the stones there, so they don't care what we think of them for giving up on this. And, you know, that leads me to wonder, what kind of person thinks that way? Why would they give up on it? And it just leads me into all the what if and why questions that really makes for an interesting piece of writing, at least for the writer.
Then it was time for a word from my fellow novelist Tina Chalk, whom you've met in other episodes of Writing Wednesday.
I feel inspired to write when I'm around the bay or around water and old houses. I go out home when I'm inspired to write. I never get time to do it, but I'm inspired to do it. Here I like doing it too.
Writer and visual artist Jennifer Morgan had some thoughts about inspiration as it pertains both to her artwork and to her writing.
I think with both my visual art and my writing, I'm trying to create a certain mood. There's things that really attract my interest and my attention, and often it's because they're just beautiful, the way the light touches them. And I think I have the same thing in terms of writing. That's more, visual arts, but I think it's the same thing in terms of writing. I just want to write about something in a way that's I want to write about something that moves me.
And then the conversation started to drift off in different and possibly less serious directions.
Goats are afraid. Goats are unafraid and we suffer from anxiety. This is not a problem for goats. I think goats are very well, for any lawn ornament at all, actually. The little fishy kid. I don't get it at all, any of it. Why? Why do any of it?
And as the conversation drifts from inspiration to Pat Benatar to goat lawn ornaments and eventually kind of back to inspiration again, what I realize is that for me the most inspiring thing is to be around creative people, especially if they're my friends and especially if they're not taking it all too seriously.
Usually I find inspiration at the bottom of the bottle. Yes. It's like Dorothy Parker, right?